Education is foundational to a successful life. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. I've graduated from 4 different institutions, ranging from my high school way back in 1984 up to an MBA I received in 2016. In between, I got an associate's degree from a junior college and a bachelor's degree in English literature from a large state university. So I'm no stranger to classrooms, and in all those years and those thousands of dollars worth of tuition spent, I got pretty good at being a student. My high school GPA, well, I'm not going to brag about that. But as I progressed in college, I got better and better as I mastered the art of studying for and excelling at exams. But has all that school done me a lick of good in real life? And would I do anything differently if I had a do-over? Well, first of all, my education was certainly a good thing, but probably not for the reasons you might be thinking. And I personally think that an 18-year-old facing his or her future in 2025 is worlds apart from what I was facing back in 1985. My main takeaway from school was an enforced discipline that gave me a system for learning on my own. I learned how to track down what I was assigned to learn and what I was curious about and sort out real information from BS. And this skill has come in handy increasingly, especially as the internet age developed and both the sources of information and the systems for accessing it advanced and proliferated. Now, back in 1985, if I needed to write a paper, say on Abraham Lincoln, my first step was to trudge up to the campus library and confront the card catalog. This would tell me, after much searching, where in space-time or on the shelf I could find 3 resources or books that would help me write my report. And if I was lucky enough, those resources had not already been checked out by some other chump in my class writing the same paper. Today, it's different. A kid is simply going to be tempted to say, "Hey, ChatGPT, please write me a paper of 5 pages about Abraham Lincoln using 3 published resources." And before that kid can inhale again, he's got his paper ready to ship. Now, much of the subject matter of my education has not aged well. I was taught Newtonian physics without the quantum mechanics layer that has become so obvious now. Most of the business and computer science classes that I took were obsolete before I even graduated. But it's hard to argue that much more is known today about Nathaniel Hawthorne and the tragedies of William Shakespeare than what I learned in school. Some things just don't change, and I am a proud English major. I learned to read almost anything with a critical eye and with good comprehension. I certainly wouldn't trade those skills for anything. What about the social life in college? I met the lady who became my wife there, and I was married for the last 2 years that I was working on my bachelor's degree. I come from a religious background, and I did not drink, do drugs, or party after midnight during my college experience. Sound boring? Well, I aced my classes, I'm still alive, and I have no blank spaces in my memory. I have no regrets. Now, do I recommend brick and mortar college for the up-and-coming generation? All 3 of my children have degrees, because at the time, they were highly encouraged by their parents to get them. We passed along the same pressures and expectations that we got from our parents. Have my children benefited from their degrees? Well, sure, but probably for the same reasons I did. I don't know that any of them has a better job today because of their degrees, but I hope that they've learned how to learn and that that discipline has been instilled in them. And they still read books, which is a good thing. Now, for certain professions such as law, medicine, or engineering, the formal pathway is still the best way, the only way, for legal recognition and licensing. But beyond those professions, If I had an 18-year-old today who was creative, ambitious, and even marginally tech savvy, I would probably steer that kid away from going to college. The last thing that child needs is 4 years of structured obsolescence. The internet is where that kind of business is done, and tutorials and courses available online are much more timely, relevant, and affordable. Now, of course, being a self-starter and having self-discipline is required to be successful at learning in this way. Nobody really cares about your resume anymore. They just care what you can do. And what about us late bloomers, people in their 40s, 50s, even 60s who want to start something new, who want to learn some new skills? Again, unless you're going into healthcare, the legal world, or engineering, what is the point of a 4-year degree? If what you want to do is stack skills, build things, make money, that's all available to you for a fraction of the price here on YouTube and on other paid platforms or free platforms. I would encourage you to learn enough about artificial intelligence so that you don't fear it anymore. Practice writing and sharing your artistic work, things you make with your hands, whatever, of any kind. Sell things you feel passionate about. Help other people to reach their own dreams as a coach or a guide or a teacher. It's never been easier to start something and share something with the world. Now, of course, it's not easy. Of course, there's learning curves. Of course, there's competition, and sometimes it seems like no one else cares. You've lived long enough to know that patience pays and that it can take years to build something worthwhile. Don't get caught up in instant gratification. You have time. Build your palace one brick at a time. Now, if you want to talk one-on-one about getting started with something new, there are still a handful of April appointments on my calendar available. There's no charge and no obligation. The link is in the description below this video. Hey, it's never too late, and you're coming into bloom not a moment too soon. Until next time, carry on.